WBTV News starts right now with breaking news.
That breaking news tonight. Officials say Russia started a military operation in eastern Ukraine. Explosions are being heard by people there right now. Good evening and welcome to this historic news at 11 o'clock. I'm Molly Grantham. The United Nations Security Council held an urgent meeting tonight. And while that meeting was going on, Russia announced it had attacked. What does this mean for the United States and the world? There's a lot to unpack here, but let's start with the basics on what's going on at this hour. Russia announced it was starting military operations. President Vladimir Putin gave a grave warning to any who attempted to intervene, and now a state of emergency is in effect for the Ukraine. The White House has responded in the last hour by saying this: the prayers of the entire world are with the people of Ukraine tonight as they suffer an unprovoked and unjustified attack by Russian military forces. President Putin has chosen a premeditated war that will bring a catastrophic loss of life and human suffering. He went on to say Russia alone is responsible for the death and destruction this attack will bring, and the United States and its allies and partners will respond in a united and decisive way. The world will hold Russia accountable. Not only are troops from North Carolina's Fort Bragg in Poland right now waiting to assist the Ukrainian people, we also have Ukrainian immigrants living in Charlotte. Our Alex Giles is live in South Charlotte. Alex, tonight you spoke with a Ukrainian family living here.
Molly, that's right. And of course, there is only so much you can do from the other side of the world. But two of the men who I spoke with tonight in the living room of a South Charlotte home told me that they were seriously considering going back to their native Ukraine to fight if the situation was necessary. Outside the Rekut home in South Charlotte, there are two flags flying, the stars and stripes of Old Glory and the bright blue and yellow of the Ukrainian flag. One represents a new home, the other represents an old home, but still a home, which is why this family is so troubled by what's happening in Ukraine.
Our parents still there, sisters, cousins, everybody's still there. It's just us who moved here, and yeah, we live here.
Mila Rekut says she and her husband are Ukrainians who grew up in what was formerly the Soviet Union. They moved to the United States in pursuit of opportunity. They've lived here several years now, but they're keeping close tabs on the conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
The worst fear is nobody knows what will happen. We are very concerned and worried about little kids. It's hard to understand when people are trying to kill other people, young kids.
The family tells me that during previous conflicts, they've purchased supplies from Army surplus stores in Charlotte and mailed them to people fighting for Ukrainian independence. There's only so much you can do from so far away.
That's our way how we help them. We help them by supporting them, by our words, by something that we could do for Ukraine.
But with regards to this situation involving Russia, the family's response could be different. Mila's husband, Peter, is now working in Charlotte. Their family friend, Volodymyr Sihavsky, lives in Mooresville, but both men say they've thought about returning to Ukraine to fight if necessary.
I think about, my wife doesn't know yet, but I think about to go over there if I need it.
You're thinking about going over?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
This is just feeling. It's very difficult to explain.
Have you also thought about going back?
It's not easy to say, but if needed, yes.
Why is that so important?
Family. I'm sure every single man in the world will be protect family.
Now, shortly after I had finished speaking with that Ukrainian family, that Russian military operation was officially announced. So, of course, I exchanged text messages with the mother of that family who I spoke to tonight, and she said that they have already been in communication with friends in Kyiv who were awoken by explosions in the middle of the night. Obviously, people are very, very panicked. She told me, quote, "I'm praying and crying. My heart is broken." Reporting live in South Charlotte, Alex Giles, WBTV, on your side.
And they're in our backyard, Alex. That really puts a face on that international headline. Thank you. We are taking a live look now at uptown Charlotte. Patchy fog in the Queen City. In other areas, visibility is pretty low tonight, although you can see the skyline beautifully right here. A first alert is still in place right now. Our meteorologist Rachel Coulter has your certified most accurate forecast. Rachel.
That's right. And because of some of that patchy dense fog that we're seeing set up shop across portions of the area, we do have now a dense fog advisory that has been issued by the National Weather Service. So visibility down to 2 miles in Charlotte, down to 1 mile in Gastonia and Monroe. If you're heading out the door in Shelby or Rock Hill, out towards Lancaster, Albemarle, and even out towards Wadesboro, that's where visibility at this point is even below a mile. So that's why that dense fog advisory is in place. Of course, we had all of the moisture from the rain earlier this morning, and then some of the clearing skies and all of that coming together to allow for some of that dense fog. And that's just one of the issues that we'll have, at least heading into the overnight hours and even traveling into the morning hours tomorrow. Out for that morning commute, could also see some scattered showers. This is the time-lapse view from Concord. You can see some of that dense fog that is set up shop. I've been scanning a lot of the views of our tower cams across the area. That one certainly showing the most impressive view of the fog, but also seeing some of that out towards Rock Hill as well. Temperature-wise, we're in the upper 40s in Boone. The rest of us in the 50s. Not going to move all that much overnight. We're going to be tracking this batch of showers out to the west. That could bring some impacts for the morning commute, and your high temperatures tomorrow, especially in some of our northern counties, maybe at the start of the day. You could have some cooling temperatures over the course of your Thursday. Big changes into the weekend as well. And look at that first alert forecast coming up, Molly.
Rachel, thank you. Noon now at 11 o'clock. We do have an exclusive story you will only see here on WBTV. It has been nearly 2 weeks since the murder of CATS bus driver Ethan Rivera. But tonight, drivers say they are still concerned for their safety. They tell us they just don't simply feel safe doing their jobs. In fact, today a community member, not a driver, just someone who cares about the community, joined a route to provide a sense of security for that bus driver. Our Brandon Hamilton is live tonight at a growing memorial for Rivera. And Brandon, you have this story of people out there trying to protect the bus drivers doing their jobs.
Molly, according to some drivers, they're just flat out scared, which is why Willie Drawn Jr., a resident just like you and I, hopped on a bus today to provide a sense of safety for a driver who is also a friend. When he did, we were right there. Waiting for a CATS bus is not the norm for Willis Drawn Jr. But as he boarded, on this Wednesday afternoon, there was a bigger cause, one about the safety for those who drive the city of Charlotte.
I just really wanted to take a ride today, have my presence on the bus with one of the drivers that was concerned.
Drawn Jr. is just that, a concerned resident on a bus as a sense of security for drivers he says tells him they're fearful to do their jobs. This after Ethan Rivera was murdered while driving a bus almost 2 weeks ago. That put a spotlight, he says, on issues that have gone on for too long.
I have spoke to drivers and operators over the last week for hours. I mean 50 to 100 drivers, and each one of them had the same concerning issue. Has anything changed? And the same driver says the same thing. There's no changes.
In recent days, employees have rallied.
And we tired of being second-class citizens.
Pushing for change on the bus. Some of those safety changes includes partitions on buses like these and law enforcement on board. A Change.org petition has also been started asking the community to stand in solidarity.
These routes that they're dealing with homeless, sometimes it's a lot of, issues with a passenger staying on the bus too long, and the disrespect, the BB gun shot at the windows, the assaults.
In a statement last week, CATS said in part, quote, the safety of our employees and riders continues to be CATS's main priority. The hope is the road ahead is one where safety is felt by everyone.
It's amazing to think that our operators, it goes through as much as they do, and I wouldn't even think of that.
And Molly, these drivers also plan on making their voices heard at next Monday's city council meeting. Now, we did reach out to CATS for an updated statement and information about those recent incidents, but in an email, we were told that information would hopefully come tomorrow. We're live in Uptown Charlotte. Brandon Hamilton, WBTV, on your side.
And important to note, Brandon, police are still searching for the man they say killed that bus driver, Darian Tavachit. You see him here. According to an arrest warrant, he is the person police believe shot and killed CATS driver Ethan Rivera. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers, 704-334-1600. Crimes involving guns are on the rise in Charlotte. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department says violent crime is down 5% compared to this time last year, but assaults with a deadly weapon are up 6%. This announcement came out today. The CMPD Crime Gun Suppression Team is investigating many of those cases, some that have led to arrests, but they say there is still work to do. Tonight, Thomas Vinson, who lost his 17-year-old son, Javion, to gun violence in April of 2020, told us what he'd like to see from law enforcement.
To be more in tune with the community, not just to come through and harass the community, but come through and build relationships with the people in the community.
The Crime Gun Suppression Team also stresses the importance of calling Crime Stoppers if you know anything about violence in your area. They say it's important to lock up guns if you have them to keep them out of the hands of criminals, and Crime Stoppers' reminder can be anonymous. Looking ahead, a man accused of killing 2 people and shooting at York County deputies in 2019 will be in court tomorrow. Jamar Neely is charged with 2 counts of murder, among several other things. The York County Sheriff's Office says he shot and killed Robin Thompson and Timothy Barber on Rivercrest Road in Rock Hill. Neely then exchanged shots with deputies after he left the scene. Now, no deputies were hurt, but Neely was shot. Details about tomorrow's court appearance have not yet been released, but when we know that information, we of course will keep you updated on what happens. Next, here at 11, a father is in jail tonight accused of hurting his 4-month-old son. Why family members say what they were told happened by him doesn't add up. Rachel?
And we're not done with the rain just yet. We have more periods of rain in the forecast, especially for your Thursday, and then again heading into the weekend. And while all of this is going on, our temperature is really going to be all over the place. So look at that first alert forecast is next. Molly.
You're watching Charlotte's best and most trusted news at 11 o'clock. We'll be right back. Now at 11 o'clock tonight, a 4-month-old is in the hospital after investigators say he was hurt by his own father in Rowan County. This is baby Remy before he was hurt. Rockwell police say his father, Brandon Calloway, was arrested and charged with child abuse. Warrants say Remy has several bruises on his brain and injuries to his spinal cord. The family says they haven't been told exactly how he was hurt, but the child's step-grandmother spoke with WBTV today and says Calloway told her Remy fell off an air mattress and that he held Remy very tightly and was rocking him hard to comfort him. But she says that doesn't add up.
I just want to say that we know it's not been an accident. It's been proven. I know there's going to be a trial, and I pray to God that he can be man enough to tell the truth. That's what our family needs. We need the truth. We want the truth.
Family members tell us Remy is going to be in the hospital for up to 3 months. They say doctors expect him to have seizures for the rest of his life and will need to be on medication. An important reminder to look out for suspicious activity in your community. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are searching right now for a man who was caught on camera breaking into a home in northeast Charlotte, and they want you to see video. It happened on Farmington Ridge Parkway shortly after 1 a.m. on February 10th. Now, video shows a man walking outside the home with a gun. Detectives say he then broke through a door and went into the house. You see him there at the top of your screen. Someone inside pointed a gun at the man, who then ran off empty-handed. We asked CMPD how you can prevent this from happening at your home.
Camera system is very helpful. Alarm systems are very helpful. And again, call 911 if you see any suspicious activity in your neighborhood.
If you recognize the man in this video or know anything about this case, please call Crime Stoppers, 704-334-1600. Unofficial results are in tonight for the runoff election for a Rock Hill City Council seat. Perry Sutton beat incumbent Nikita Jackson to represent Ward 5. The election for City Council was earlier this month, but neither Sutton nor Jackson secured the majority needed to win, so a runoff happened. York County Board of Elections will certify the votes later this week. Let's go back to the forecast because rainy today and rain the rest of the week too. Meteorologist Rachel Coulter has a certified most accurate forecast on exactly when we can expect all that wet weather.
That's right. Once again, you're going to want the umbrellas around by the morning commute tomorrow. A lot like what we had today, except I think coverage will be a little bit lower tomorrow, but temperatures will be cooler, and we're going to be running into some of that patchy, dense fog. We have some of that outside right now. In fact, this is that time-lapse view. I showed it to you a few minutes ago, but just in case you're just now tuning in, I did want to show you this one more time out towards Concord. One of the spots that we're seeing some of that patchy fog, very dense in some locations. We had a little bit of that at the surface as you took this view out towards the uptown Charlotte skyline, but certainly visibility a little bit better from this vantage point than what we have elsewhere. But technically at the airport, visibility down to 2 miles there in Charlotte, 1 in Gastonia and Hickory, even below a mile worth of visibility in several locations. Of course, we had the rain this morning, so we've got the moisture, and of course we had the clearing skies as well. All of that playing a role, and we have the dense fog advisory in effect for portions of the Piedmont region, including the Charlotte metro, until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And of course, beside that patchy dense fog potential, we're also going to be looking at that potential for some scattered showers. So for your Thursday morning commute, heading out the door tomorrow morning, even getting the kids ready for school, you'll definitely want to be tuning in with Chief Meteorologist Al Conklin, Meteorologist Alicia Wilson. They'll be looking at radar and those road conditions for you as you plan the rest of your day tomorrow. Temperature-wise right now, we're sitting in the 50s in most locations, upper 40s out towards Boone with some showers out towards the west. Still dry for now. That front that's been pushing into the area now just a little bit farther off towards the south at this point with some showers approaching the North Carolina state line. This front's going to be hanging out here over the next couple of days until it finally clears the area, getting into the start of the work week. So looking at tomorrow's high temperatures, and we've been talking about this for several days now, how our northern counties would be much, much cooler than what we see off towards the south thanks to that wedge. We're going to have some cloudy conditions, just really dreary, cool day. And these high temperatures that you see for tomorrow in the mid 50s and upper 40s to the north, that could be to the start to the day. By the afternoon hours, I would imagine temperatures are in the 40s. We're going to be right on either side of 60 degrees. Again, maybe earlier in the afternoon or even in the morning hours for the Charlotte metro area, but should be able to top out in those 60s once you get south of that North Carolina state line and into South Carolina. This is why you've got that setup where the front's off to the south. We've got the cool air working in out of the north and east with that potential for some scattered showers tomorrow morning as well. Mainly a morning and midday thing. I think we mostly dry out by the evening hours, and eventually we'll see this front push through. Could see some additional showers move through the area Thursday night, maybe even a few sprinkles on the windshield by Friday, but the best chance of rain on Friday is going to be in the mountains, and it will be very brief. Temperatures should top out in the low 70s in the Charlotte metro area. Our southeastern counties will get warmer, mid to upper 70s, cooler out towards the west as that cold front moves through, and then all of us cool down into Saturday. So again, this is one of those forecasts where you're just going to want to tune in each and every day because we're going to have so many changes temperature-wise, rain chance-wise as we approach the weekend. So there's a look at those rain chances heading into the weekend. The best opportunity to see the rain will actually be overnight and into the morning hours of your Sunday. Maybe some mountain snow possible, but fortunately it won't be raining all weekend long. First alert in place for Thursday and then again Saturday night into Sunday, but fortunately we dry out and eventually warm back up into next week. Let's get a check on sports with Nate.
Coming up in sports is day 2 of training for Charlotte FC as they prepare for their first ever game. And the CIAA tournament in full swing up in Baltimore. Highlights of Justice C. Smith versus Livingstone when we come back. We are 3 days away from the first ever Charlotte FC game as they will take on DC United Saturday night. It was day 2 of training out at the Matthews Sportsplex for the team. Now, other than the Atlanta United who made the playoffs in their first year, expansion teams tend to struggle in year 1. Charlotte may follow that struggle path in 2022 for a bunch of reasons, one of which they've only been training together for 38 days.
It's a positive balance during the preseason. It was very hard, short time to get to know each other with teammates and coaching staff. A lot of off-the-field factors as well. We got better each and every day with games and practices. Our main goal is obviously to reach the playoffs. That's our mindset, and we just go game after game.
College basketball tournament started this week, and it's day 2 of the CIAA tournament up in Baltimore. In the men's bracket, Justin C. Smith took on Livingstone, and the Blue Bears mauled the Golden Bulls. Parker Okoye was the hot man early. Smith nonchalant with the ball. Parker says, "Give me that." Coast to coast, Livingstone up 12 just 4 minutes into the game. Parker had 14 points in the first half. He almost outscored Smith in the first half by himself. The Golden Bulls only managed 18 points in the first and trailed 40-18 at the break, otherwise known as game over, folks. Livingstone won this one 74-58. Blue Bears will play Lincoln tomorrow. Smith finishes the season 5-19. Elsewhere in college basketball, Duke with the win over Virginia. Clemson shocks Wake Forest 80-69. The struggles continue for NC State as they fell to Boston College. 27 points from Hung Jung Lee as Davidson beat Duquesne. App State beat Little Rock. And Gardner Webb got a game-winning bucket from Damarian Williams with 7 seconds to go to beat UNC Asheville. In Division II basketball, 9th-ranked Queens beat Lenore-Ryan for their 11th straight win. The Charlotte Hornets got back on the practice court today. After 5 days off for the All-Star break, there was no break for reigning NBA Rookie of the Year, LaMelo Ball, as he played in the All-Star game and played well as he scored 18 points. But now it's all about getting to the playoffs. And with 22 games to go in 45 days to wrap up the regular season, the Hornets All-Star will play a big role if this team is going to make the postseason.
I think we're going to need the bounce from Melo right now, just his energy, his juice, his spirit. And I think an all-star appearance like this could provide that bounce, that confidence going into these final 22 games. I want him to lead a little bit more as well, continue to put himself out there to lead this group, take more command right now, be even sharper in fourth quarters. We're going to need that. I think for us to be great in the fourth quarters, it really starts with Melo and his approach. And I've seen a lot of growth there, but obviously we're going to need more here down the stretch.
Now, Charlotte will get back to game action Friday when they host Toronto. That's all the time we have for sports. A final check of weather when we come back.
A ground has officially been broken at the site of this year's St. Jude Dream Home. WBTV anchor Mary King joined Dream Home builder Jeff Newton and other sponsors at the site of this year's home near downtown Monroe. Go, Mary, to do the honors. And now work will get underway on the more than 3,000 square foot home. The home will have 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a dining room, a bonus room, a keeping room off the kitchen, and a sitting room off the main bedroom.
This house and the money that we raise from your viewers' tickets will treat 6 children. There will be 6 children that will receive treatment and will be given hope for a future because of this house. And I mean, that's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. You can reserve your ticket for a chance to win the home and other great prizes for just $100 this July. Only 26,000 tickets will be available as we look to raise a record-breaking $2.6 million for St. Jude Children's Hospital. Stay with WBTV News as we keep you updated on the campaign throughout the year, on air and online. Again, tickets start going on sale in July. Before we go, a final check of the forecast with Rachel Coulter.
Of course, a lot like what we had this morning. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have another opportunity for some showers. Won't be as widespread as what we had, but you'll definitely want the umbrella, and you'll definitely want to tune back in with Chief Meteorologist Al Conklin for a look at radar before heading out the door. We're also still going to have some patchy dense fog likely through about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning when that dense fog advisory ends up expiring. High temperatures tomorrow may be reached in the morning for some, especially our northern counties. It's going to be a cloudy, damp, cool day for our northern counties, right around average across the state line. And then to the south, if you live in South Carolina, it should be a warmer day in comparison to what we see off towards the north. We'll warm back up into Friday and then cool back down into the weekend. So be prepared for roller coaster conditions over the course of the 7
We said roller coaster conditions last night at this exact time at 11. We're saying it again.
Exactly.
Rachel, thank you. Thanks for watching tonight at 11. We'll see you back here at the same time tomorrow. Good night.